This is a video of how to fill out a personal financial statement, care of Integrity Capital. So the personal financial statement is really a snapshot of an individual's assets and their liabilities. Ultimately, we're looking at what is somebody's net worth, which is assets minus their liabilities. So up top here, we'll always put in the date. Lenders like to see that this is dated within about 60 to 90 days of the current period of time. So make sure that you fill this out. From here, what you will do is put the name of the individuals. If you're married and you keep your assets separate, then each person will put their name down and perform their own personal financial statement. If you have everything as joint, then you will put both of your names in this section of names. From here, you'll put obviously the business phone number, a cell phone, and you'll put the individual address of which you reside, the city, state, and zip code. Down here, where it says business name or applicant borrower, is you will put the name of the entity that you're going to actually take title for the project. Or if you have your own company, and this is an owner-occupied transaction, you will fill out this section with the name of your company. It could be a limited liability company, it could be a corporation, but please make sure you fill that section out. As we scroll down here, we're going to focus first on the asset side. So really at the end of the day, it's what do you own? What is it that you physically own and is in your possession? That is what an asset is. Cash in the banks. This is going to be any physical cash that you might have in your bank account, in your personal checking account, anything that is designated for your personal account. Remember, we do not want to put business information in here. Just your personal cash. Could be in your actual house, and it could be in a bank account preferably. Down here, we'll focus on any savings account. So those two will be separate in the sense if it is an actual savings account. The IRA or other retirement accounts here, you will want to focus on any retirement accounts you have, anything that has to do with mutual funds, with your brokerage accounts. You will actually get your statements and make sure that you put that amount in this particular section. Accounts and notes receivable. These are items where you have perhaps lent money to somebody. Could be a personal loan that you had and it is due back to you. You will put this amount in this section right here. Life insurance. Again, this is only if it is a cash surrender value for you personally. Again, not for the business, but just you personally. You will put that amount that is the cash surrender value only in this particular section. And you can scroll down to section 8 in order to identify what company is that with that you have, what is the face amount of the policy. You can get this from your actual statement. What is the cash value and who is or who are the beneficiaries of this policy. The next is stocks and bonds. Again, if you trade or have bought individual stocks and or bonds, make sure that you ascertain your most recent statement and put that amount in here. Again, this would be separate than the IRA, which is more of a retirement account. The next section is the real estate. So what you will do here is you will actually go down to section 4 of this statement and you will identify all of the property information over here, such as the address, the percent interest that you own in the property. This is really important because, again, we need to know if you own a piece of real estate as an investment, do you own 100%? Do you own 50%? So you want to make sure in this section that you identify that for us to be able to assess. The date that you purchased the actual asset will be important. The original cost. And remember, if you own 50%, you're only going to put 50% of the cost that you have here, not 100%, because we want to follow that all the way through. The present value of that asset that you can identify by talking to a real estate agent, or perhaps you had an appraisal recently. So you want to put, again, what is the value only as it pertains to your percentage interest. The name and address of the mortgage holder. If you have a loan on it, you'll want to put their information here so we can identify and assess that. You'll want to put the actual mortgage account number right here from your statement that you can obtain. You'll want to put the mortgage balance as a percentage of the interest. So again, if it's 50% and it's 100,000, you only put 50,000 here. And then you'll also want to put the amount of the monthly payment that you put in here. You could also put the taxes, insurance in there if you would like as well. But again, only a percentage of the interest. And finally, the rental income on that property, if that's applicable, that you would put that in this section as a percentage interest of that as well. And then the status of the mortgage really just tells us, is it current or is there a delinquent status? So again, really important that in this section, you're only putting property information that you own in your personal name, not other entities that are perhaps LLCs and such, because those will have their own balance sheet, almost their own personal financial statement, and you'll basically put the net worth down in this particular section of other assets we'll talk to. So make sure you fill all that out, and then you will actually just put in this section the gross amount of all of those values from this section. Again, and it says here, if it's more than 4 properties, go ahead and use the schedule of real estate owned, which is right here, which will be in another video. The next will be any automobiles. So if you have any vehicles, again, that you own personally, motorcycles, cars, trucks, boats, etc., you will put what you believe their current market value is. Maybe that's from a blue book value, maybe it's from your dealership, but you'll put that amount here. Other personal property, this could be things such as value of personal effects, jewelry, art, guns, furniture, etc. Make sure you give all the details based upon section 5, which is right here, if you want to lay those out as well. And then finally, other assets. Really, this is the current value of other assets, including all business interest, not including real estate. So if, for example, you own 15 properties in a bunch of different LLCs, what you're going to put is the net worth of those assets minus liabilities in this particular section in order to get a final and total number that calculates all of these figures right here and sums them up. Next, we want to go through liabilities. So in the liabilities section, the accounts payable. So do you, just similar to accounts receivable, where somebody owed you money, do you owe someone else money? And you'll want to put that amount here. Notes payable to banks. This is credit cards that you might owe to banks, or any lines of credit that you might own. And you will go down to section 2 in order to lay those out. The name and the address of the actual note holder. The original credit limit or balance. The current balance, the payment amount, and the frequency, if that's monthly or annual. And then is it secured by anything? Is there a piece of real estate, or is it tied to a car? So you'll make sure to put that there. An installment account for an automotive vehicle. So again, over here you have the actual automotive present value. Here you're going to say, is there a loan against your auto or RV or boat? And you'll put that amount there. You will put the actual monthly payments in this box right here so we can identify the cash flow. Installment, again, if this is other installments that are due outside of an automotive vehicle, you'll put this here, and then you will also put the monthly payments here as well. Again, loans on life insurance. Typically, these are cash value policies, and so if you have pulled a loan out against that, we want to know what is due back to the life policy. Many times, one can actually borrow against their life insurance policy, so that's something you want to put here. Finally, mortgages on real estate. So again, on section 4, as we've already discussed, these mortgage amounts down here are going to total up to get to this particular section. So make sure that you follow through on that section 4. Do you have any unpaid taxes? Or do you have back taxes that are due? You will go to section 6 of this statement to discuss what type of tax is it, who is it payable to, when is it due, have you put together any plans to pay that back? You want to attach and give us any information on those liens. Other liabilities. Are there other things that do not fall into any of these classifications that one would need to know about? And then you will discuss that and describe it in the section 7 of this form. And finally, it will automatically calculate all of the numbers here of a total amount, and then it'll calculate the net worth, which again is the assets minus the liabilities. It'll total that number up as well. Section 1 over here shows, gives us, what do you make per year on your W-2 from your 1040 statement? Do you have any net investment income that you can certainly find on your tax return, or maybe new properties? Is there any real estate income that we need to know about, or any other income that you might have? So any income on an annual basis we want to know in this section. Make sure it's as accurate as possible, and you would utilize your tax returns for that. Over here, these are called contingent liabilities. What this means is, do you have any notes, legal claims, judgments that you have that we need to know about, any provisions for federal tax that we need to know about, any other special debt? So again, make sure if you've signed any loans that are not outstanding necessarily but are due. This could be for a development that maybe you borrowed $10 million and you've only drawn on $1 million of it. We want to know what is that total contingent liability, because the contingency is that you actually complete the project. So make sure that you're very clear in this area. And again, we've mentioned all the sections down here that we've described. At the very bottom, it's really critical that you sign this, both parties if there's two, you date it, and then you give us your social security numbers. That's very, very important when you send that back to us. So again, this is how to fill out a personal financial statement when you're borrowing money, whether this is an investor or owner-occupied. And again, it's critical to fill all these forms out because it's part of the underwriting and analysis process. Thank you very much. This is Integrity Capital signing out.